I don't really think nobody fucking with me anyway, you know what I'm saying? 24 fucking hundred. I come from that fucking block. I been out that Johnny up and up that cutter. If we cannot get
we back with another reaction video. Today we're reacting to a Detective Williams video. What the hell that video is? Child predator accidentally says something only the killer would know. What the fuck? So it's a child predator and a killer? Okay, it's a double whammy. Let's get right into it.
911, what's the location of your emergency?
We are reporting a missing child.
And at this point, I start to panic and freak out because that can't be the case. She was dropped off. I remember him saying, should I have asked a warrant? Should I have... And I'm like, no, you got nothing to hide. Give him your fucking phone. If you were to go demand your phone back right now, that would look suspicious as fuck. Like, what are you doing?
I feel like sometimes people struggle to show real emotion when they're aware of what the truth is, so it has to be fake.
If I knew anything, I promise you, I would tell you. Like, I am willing to take a lie detector test, whatever the fuck you want, but I don't know anything.
On February 25th, 2024, 13-year-old Madeline Soto celebrated her birthday surrounded by loved ones in Kissimmee, Florida. It was supposed to be a joyful weekend, but the happiness wouldn't last. The very next day, everything changed. When Madeline's mother arrived at school to pick her up, she was told something no parent ever wants to hear. Madeline never showed up for class. What followed was a massive search effort. Police and investigators scrambled to retrace Madeline's last known movements, but as they dug deeper, the case began to take a darker turn. Inconsistencies in timelines and disturbing evidence started surfacing, pointing to the possibility that Madeline's disappearance wasn't random at all, but tied to something far more disturbing.
I just want to believe she's still alive. She's out there.
The details you're about to see come directly from police records, and much of the footage included in this report has never been publicly released until now. On the evening of February 26, 2024, the Orange County Sheriff's Office received a 911 call. The caller sounded panicked, and what they had to report would quickly set off a chain of events that no one was prepared for.
And do you need police, fire, or medical?
Police possibly. I'm reporting a missing child.
Okay, and the child that you're trying to report missing, are you calling on behalf of the parent?
Yes, on behalf of the mother. She's missing.
Okay, and then and ma'am, how old is the child? Okay, and then how long has it been, though, since you guys have last seen her?
Since this morning. She was dropped off at school this morning, and apparently she never showed up. We called everyone we knew, no one seen her.
After gathering more information, the dispatcher assured the caller that a deputy would be sent out as soon as possible, but as the minutes dragged on, no one showed. Growing more desperate, she called back, twice, trying to make it clear just how urgent the situation was. Each time, her pleas became more intense, but still, no help arrived.
Do you need police, fire, medical?
No, it's not a medical issue. We have a missing child since this morning. We already called 3 times, and the police didn't show up yet. So this is not important for you guys? Really?
The delay in response wasn't just inconvenient. It pointed to something far more unsettling. Deputies had been tied up with another situation, and whatever had kept them occupied during that window would later make things even more terrifying. It wasn't until 7:48 p.m. that Deputy Joseph finally arrived. He was met by 35-year-old Jennifer Soto, Madeline's mother, along with her boyfriend, 37-year-old Stephen Stearns. Both were waiting to explain what they claimed had happened, but by then, precious time had already slipped away.
Hey there.
Hey there. What's going on?
So,
Yo, she got the crazy eyes.
was dropped off close to school this morning, but never made it. I went to pick her up from school.
I'm sorry, one second.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
Are we looking for another kid, or we have a kid?
Looking for another one.
Another one?
With multiple reports of missing children in the region, investigators couldn't rule out the possibility that Madeline had been abducted. Even worse was the possibility that multiple children could have been abducted by the same person.
So she was supposed to be dropped off at school, didn't make it to school.
Didn't make it to school. I went to pick her up from school today, and she never came out. They announced it over the speaker, and I'm just like, maybe she walked here, because sometimes she'll walk here to this office. Came here, nothing. I went back to the school, they were closed. I got an email from the school saying she was absent, but I also messaged her teacher, and he looked at her entire attendance today and saw that she was completely not at school today either.
Okay. What was she last seen wearing?
Green hoodie.
Green hoodie.
White Crocs.
White Crocs.
Either blue or black pants.
I think black shorts.
Black shorts?
Yeah.
Black shorts? Okay. Black shorts. Alright. Do you know if she has like friends in the area?
She does, but she doesn't know where they live.
She doesn't know where they live, okay.
I also.
13?
Okay.
Okay, I guess.
Is this like, did she like have any
Oh, wait, we don't
places
know her
that you
age,
guys
my
know
bad.
that she would usually be at? Any friend's house? Any places that like she likes to hang out?
Typically,
No.
Not typically. By any chance, does she have a phone number or phone?
She does, but she left her at home today. I have it.
You have it.
And I've already gone through her messages.
Okay. How about, does she have like an Apple Watch?
She's got a device. The only device she's got on her right now is her school laptop.
Her school laptop? Is that trackable?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Her school giving out laptops. They getting money.
If the Wi-Fi's turned on, it'll try to connect to the Wi-Fi. So if I like circle here.
Did I send you a good position?
Does she don't have a history of that way or anything? She just hang out
Possibly, I don't know. She got dropped off. She was like, so she's embarrassed by his car. So she didn't want to be dropped off at school. She wanted to be dropped off like half a block away so she can walk.
Tanita saying she's in a phase.
But he dropped her off half a block away and drove away.
Did she ever go to school though?
No, we called school.
She was walking in that direction. She was rifling through her backpack, just looking for something. I thought maybe she was just looking for headphones before she got her walking on.
Yeah.
But she was just kind of, shambling over in that direction. It looked the same as any other morning.
With Madeline's phone unavailable, investigators turned their attention to her laptop, hoping it might offer some clue to her whereabouts. But the lead quickly hit a wall. The last time the device had connected to a network was on February 22nd, 4 days before she went missing near downtown Orlando. After that, it went completely dark. Tension spikes as the phone rings unexpectedly, catching everyone in the room off guard. Family members and officers freeze, hoping and somewhat fearing that the call could bring news about Madeline. But it wasn't. Stefan guides officers to what he claims is the spot where he dropped Madeline off for school, but from the start, his shaky recollection and vague details doesn't help them much.
Was it here?
Man, I want to know who did it. You know what I'm saying?
So it's like around where these communities were.
Okay.
And it's just like in this stretch, like we could see the overpass down there.
Where's the school?
Just on the other side of the overpass.
Okay.
Somewhere on here. So yeah, somewhere, maybe not this one, but the next one possibly is right in this stretch. We just came down and we drove about halfway down. She was like, that's good right here.
Okay.
Yeah. Not to be a helicopter parent, but you're dead. I'm not letting you do that.
Armed with only a rough idea of Madeline's last known location, officers expand their efforts to a nearby apartment complex. They begin combing through the area, hoping for even the smallest clue that could point to where she might have gone or what might have happened to her.
No cameras as of right now. Yeah, I'm trying to see if we can find something.
While the initial search turns up little, Deputy Joseph has a potential breakthrough. At a church located about half a mile from Madeline's school, surveillance footage shows a young girl matching her description walking by in the early morning hours, around the same time she was supposed to be in school.
Yeah, he left and she walks onto property. And then she actually goes back onto property. I guess she left. So she's still sitting there.
Avatar, what's the other?
What they were saying, right? She had her phone out to me. It's like, that was intentional. You know? Like, I don't want to be tracked. So I'm gonna try bumping it up like 10 minutes to see if she's still there. Yeah.
Just stay there. Oh, wait, there is a person getting out of the car. Yeah, that's when Olivia leaves here. She stays here until like 9 or 5.
Encouraged by this possible lead, authorities dispatch a canine unit to sweep the area around the intersection near the school, hoping to pick up her scent and map out where she may have gone next. But after nearly 15 minutes of searching, there's still no sign of a trail, nothing solid to follow.
If I had to guess, get out of there. If I had to guess, she probably went that way.
Yeah.
He dumped her off here, or he dumped her off up ahead. Okay.
And she walked this way, coming down.
So her scent's probably all over here anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one. What are you telling me? You here? No. Okay. Yeah, we'll call it.
Like, but her dog just wanted his tummy rubbed. That's crazy.
Back at the church, Deputy Joseph updates Madeline's aunt, walking her through what he saw in the surveillance video. Though it's not confirmation, it's the closest thing they have to a lead. And for now, it's all they have.
Okay, it's blurry video, but it looks like a adolescent child sitting right there. And she's sitting. The people here said that they were adamant they seen her on property. But, like I said, it's a blurry video, and I don't see her getting into anybody's car in the video. I see her sitting on property for, give or take 10 minutes, and then walking off property. I don't know which way she went and get more video.
Cameras like that show the bridge or anything?
No.
With no solid leads, one officer considers the possibility that Madeline may have left on her own. He gently asks if there's anywhere she might have gone, someplace she wouldn't want her mother to know about. It's a long shot, but at this point, every possibility has to be considered.
Yeah.
I have no idea. We checked her phone. I didn't see any like
Crazy stuff. Like, yeah, me neither. Yeah.
I didn't see her trying to like plan anything with anyone. And I just really don't think she's the type to do that.
Oh, it's a different kid, but it's like an angle.
I don't see her.
As the night wears on, search teams are forced to wrap up with no real progress. Despite hours of effort, there's still no sign of Madeline. The deeper they dig, the more questions they uncover, each one more frustrating than the last. By the next morning, February 27th, the investigation expands. Officers begin canvassing neighborhoods while the family speaks publicly, hoping media exposure might bring new information. As the news spreads, the emotional toll begins to weigh on the community.
Oh, I hear it. Is this about that little girl?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I've been crying all day long.
Yeah, it's only, she's been missing since 8:30 a.m.
Why aren't there any updates? I'm looking everywhere for anybody. I kept saying to myself, I said, I'm hoping she skipped school today.
Meanwhile, a detective heads to Madeline's school to speak with her best friend, hoping she might know something, anything that could help lead them closer to the truth.
I thought it was fishy yesterday when she didn't text me at all, because usually even if she doesn't go to school that day, she texts me like the night or the day of, like she'll wake up early just to like text me like, hey, I'm not going to school. And she didn't yesterday, but I didn't think anything of it because I thought she like slept in or something.
Did you ever try to call her or text her or anything?
Yes, I called her.
And no answer?
No answer.
And that's completely out of the ordinary for her?
Yeah.
The investigators looked into her phone records and found that Madeline's phone was unplugged from its charger at 7:04 a.m. on February 26th. Roughly 15 minutes later, it was powered off completely. This behavior didn't match her usual phone activity and stood out as highly irregular based on her past data. As theories swirl that Madeline may have run away, her best friend delivers an unexpected piece of information, something that catches investigators off guard and shifts the tone of the case.
I think that she was waiting to turn 13 because she had told like, when I turn 13, once I turn 13, I'm going to leave this house and never come back.
Why 13?
So she wasn't 13 yet.
Because she would always brag, because I said that I can't wait to my birthday, and she was like, are you having a birthday party? I said no, and she was like, oh, I get a whole bunch of money, like $500 something on my birthday, like that's like so much money.
But where would she go?
I have no clue.
Investigators then turn to Jennifer, hoping a mother's insight might help explain why Madeline would leave. Jennifer, however, brushes off the worry with a simple, almost dismissive explanation, offering little that would point to anything serious.
So this whole living in the woods thing, I have people like tromping through the woods right now on horses and ATVs and all sort of things, but has she ever mentioned that before?
Just in that text that I saw. The thing is, I started talking to her about World War III. I was talking to her about just what's happening politically, and I'm like, I don't know what that means for us, but we'll see what happens. But I talked to her about World War III, so that's what I'm just saying.
How long ago was that? I mean, is that something that might have impacted her?
That's why she said she wanted to go live in the woods.
But when pressed further, Jennifer presents a more unsettling possibility. She suggests something darker may have happened to Madeline, hinting at foul play rather than a runaway situation.
Based off of everything, me knowing her and knowing how she is and how tight-knit we are, like, I don't think she would run away. I feel like she was taken, like, on that short walk from where she was dropped off to the school.
Wrapping up their conversation with Madeline's friend, detectives learn one final detail that doesn't sit right. Madeline had never walked to school from the church before. She always preferred to be dropped off directly. That's the total opposite from the story they'd heard this entire time.
Right. But yesterday, for some random reason, she wanted to be dropped off at the church.
I don't know if she's ever been dropped off at the church before, no, she's told me.
Okay.
As the situation grows more complex, investigators know they need to revisit Jennifer and Stefan to clarify key details. Meanwhile, officers continue knocking on doors, but another day ends with no breakthrough. Madeline has now been missing for over 48 hours. In an effort to try to find any clues, Canine Officer Wyatt is brought back, this time starting the search at Madeline's home, where both Jennifer and Stefan are waiting.
That's okay with you guys? Yeah. We're gonna pull one more and then we're gonna have the dog sniff it out again and see if we can get another track going. Yeah. All right.
Can I get you like the last outfit you was wearing?
Has it been like with other clothes and all that, like your clothes?
It got mixed in with clean clothes, dirty clothes. Mixed in with clean and dirty clothes. Is it other people's dirty clothes? No, just hers. Is her underwear?
Like a pillow that she likes to sleep with.
Underwear? I mean, all that stuff works. Yeah, but you slept on the pillow this morning.
No, that's right. I snuggled with the pillow.
Like would she
You snuggle with the pillow, that's
okay,
pretty.
and that hasn't been touched. Yeah. Okay, then that's like the closest thing to her body. Yeah. So.
To help the canine unit catch her scent, they decide to use a pair of Madeline's underwear from the bathroom. The search begins, but it doesn't take long for Stefan to interfere.
I'm gonna be going like right where you guys are. Yeah. You guys can go inside if you want, because then I just don't want him trying to track you guys.
Oh, the dude, right?
Yeah. He's a pretty cute little guy. Just as long as everybody's inside. I'm not gonna go inside. I'm just gonna start at the front door. That's not Wyatt. Leave it.
The dog name is Wyatt.
I'm just gonna have him face the other way, and then he's trying to open the door. Oh god, he opened the door. Sorry. He knows how to open doors.
As the dog works through the area, Stefan lingers nearby, peeking around corners. His presence quickly becomes a problem, drawing frustration from the handler trying to let the dog work undisturbed.
Which car is this? He's just circling. He's frittering. So and now he's gonna go back. No, sorry. He backtracks a lot, so he kind of just circles.
Despite their efforts, the second canine search fails to turn up any meaningful clues, and the longer the search takes, the lower the chances they'll actually be able to find Madeline alive. By Friday, March 1st, 5 days since Madeline was last seen, she is still missing. Both Jennifer and Stefan have been interviewed repeatedly, but as investigators cross-reference their statements with new findings, disturbing discrepancies begin to emerge.
You want me to go through the whole timeline?
Yeah, we'll start with Sunday. Take me through Sunday.
Okay. So Sunday, birthday party. She spent the whole day at my mom's house. We celebrated with the whole family. She had the best day. She was so happy when I got home and I saw her. At my house around 8:30 that night. I wasn't home. She got dropped off alone. About 10 to 15 minutes later, Stefan showed up.
At your house in Kissimmee?
At my house in Kissimmee, he called me. Or he texted me, I don't remember. But he let me know he was there and that she was getting ready for bed. She was doing her routine.
Stefan had previously told investigators that he wasn't living with Jennifer full-time. He claimed to divide his time between her home in Kissimmee and his parents' place in Northport, nearly 150 miles away. But every time he spoke to the detectives, the story changed.
And what does your time splitting look like? Are you here for days, weeks, months, something else?
Weeks at a time, yeah.
And so, I guess when did you arrive this block of time that you were here?
Day before yesterday, actually.
So, what night? Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay. So you got here Saturday night.
None of this lines up with what Jennifer just told detectives. She claimed he arrived after Madeline's birthday party on Sunday night, but even that timeline clashes with her own earlier statements, where she had trouble recalling exactly when Stefan came into town.
How long has he been here? Or when did he arrive, rather, this time?
I can't remember if he arrived Saturday or Sunday morning.
This is just the start. A series of conflicting details is about to unravel, and each new contradiction adds to the growing suspicion surrounding both Jennifer and Stefan. As Stefan's interview continues, detectives ask how Madeline behaved after the birthday celebration. His response is vague and adds little clarity, leading to more questions than answers.
Nothing bad. He was just happy. She was very happy.
Nothing bad.
Everyone was happy. There's nothing out of the ordinary. I can't remember anything particularly happened. I showed her the movie Sister Act.
Jennifer explains what happened after she returned from work and why she deviated from the normal routine by having Stefan take Madeline to school the next morning. The explanation just doesn't feel right.
I got home around 10:30. I started getting ready for bed myself. I started eating and taking my meds because I have to take meds. When I went to take my meds, I realized, oh my god, I forgot to take my Saturday night's meds, which is why I felt so weird and so abnormal and not myself Sunday. While I was at work, everyone at work noticed I was acting different and not being myself. Like I couldn't smile in front of the guests. I felt this wave of depression that I haven't felt in years. It was my bipolar symptoms coming up again, but I've been medicating myself for all this time. I realized I forgot to take my meds, and I said, you guys, I need a good night's sleep. I need to take my meds. I sent them to sleep upstairs in the guest bedroom so that I could get a good night's sleep.
Her admission adds weight to a concern detectives had from the beginning: the strange sleeping arrangements inside the home. It was a red flag during the first interview, and now, with more context, it's even more alarming.
Is it normal for both of them to sleep in the same room? Sometimes. When I really need a good night's sleep, I will send them upstairs. But when, also a lot of times, we will sleep together in the king-size bed, all three of us. Or sometimes Stefan will go upstairs and in our bed alone. So it just really depends on what's going on that night with our schedules and what we're doing. Okay,
why would a 12-year-old be sleeping with you and your husband in the same bed? What? How did that make sense?
Where are you sleeping? Downstairs in the king-size bed. Okay. Is it just you two here, or you guys have a roommate, right? We have two roommates, and one of the roommates has a son who's here like a little bit more than half the week. So what rooms do you guys use? The room downstairs, the master bedroom, downstairs.
Investigators would soon search the home thoroughly, and what they discovered inside would leave them shaken. As Jennifer keeps talking, she goes into further detail about how those unsettling arrangements began.
So the living situation with them, I'll be honest, seems weird. It's weird to me. She's got a bedroom downstairs. What's kind of the mindset or the thought process, the communication you've had with Stefan about, you know, she's not going to sleep in her bed, but you guys are going to sleep in the guest bedroom?
It wasn't until June that he got his own bedroom and I sent him upstairs. That's where the requests for sleepover started.
Okay.
And I started telling her no. I'm not comfortable with that. But eventually at some point, like we really want to watch, I forgot what movie it was. They really wanted to watch something and I was really tired. And I said, okay, fine, go ahead, but this can't happen often. And yeah, I allowed her to go upstairs and sleep with him. But honestly,
what?
I think I can count on one hand how many times that's happened, and it hasn't been many times that I've allowed her to have a supper party with him, to be alone in the bed with him.
Though detectives were clearly unsettled by the odd sleeping arrangements, their focus remained on tracking Madeleine's movements. They shifted the conversation, asking Stefan to walk them through the following morning in detail.
We woke up around 7:15, somewhere around there, which is an early start for us, but we had talked about getting McDonald's breakfast beforehand, so we wanted to make good time. We did make good time. We got out the door maybe 7:30, 7:45-ish, maybe.
But his version of events quickly hit a snag. Natalie, one of Jennifer's two roommates, was asked if she remembered seeing Stefan or Madeleine that morning. Her answer didn't line up. She hadn't seen either of them, despite allegedly leaving the house at the same time.
So they were back much later, I think, though.
I want to say an hour and a half later, maybe?
Did you see them all Monday morning?
By the time I was leaving Monday, no, I think I was leaving too early. I leave like around 7:45. So no, I typically don't see them.
Were you probably gone before they even got up, maybe?
If Natalie's memory is accurate, she should have crossed paths with Stefan. What complicates things further is a written statement from Jennifer where she claimed to have physically seen Madeleine getting ready around 8 a.m. Her version of events keeps shifting, making it harder for investigators to separate fact from fiction.
Between your initial statement to the police, a lot of things have changed. The initial statement to the police was you watched her get dressed, you watched her leave, you knew exactly what she was wearing.
Can I tell you
Absolutely.
my thought process on that, or where I came from with that? I was handed this form, and I'm like, where do I start? What do I write? And somebody said, tell them what you saw. And so I started with I saw. And then I wrote out what I wrote out. But it wasn't until later I was like, wait, I didn't see her. I assumed that I saw her. I assumed that I heard her. But I didn't. In reality, I didn't see her.
Bitch, what?
I only saw him. And I heard something in the kitchen, but I don't know who that was.
Despite the contradictions, detectives kept the conversation going. They focused on what allegedly took place when Stefan and Madeleine left the house.
Got over to that area. She was asleep in the car most of the time, just snoozing until we got there. We got to McDonald's. We're close to McDonald's. I said, you still on it? She wasn't interested in McDonald's anymore, so we continued on. And she wanted to be dropped off a little down the ways from the school. She's got this phase that she's been into lately where she's very particular about what car she's seen getting out of in front of the school. She prefers
that makes
cars
sense.
are, I guess, kind of hoopies. I get it. It's an image thing. But I said, okay, let her out. Have a good day. Love you. Thanks. Love you too. And I turned around and was driving away and was watching her in my rearview mirror to make sure that she was going where she was supposed to go. And she was moving in that direction, but she was rummaging around in her backpack or something. What I assumed was probably headphones or something like that. But I found out later that she forgot her phone here, so she may have been rummaging for her phone. But she was still kind of making her way towards that direction, so it looked okay. She said she was going to go wait for her friends. She was going to find them and hang out and wait for her friends.
Stefan insists he dropped Madeleine off between 8:20 and 8:40 a.m., but something feels off. According to Madeleine's friend, she never got dropped off anywhere but directly in front of the school. That wasn't just a preference, it was routine. When investigators confront Stefan with surveillance footage that doesn't match his timeline, he quickly shifts his story. That sudden change only makes him look even more suspicious.
So, why is your car seen going southbound at 8:10 at Kissimmee?
I had forgotten something. I had forgotten my gate clicker. I'm sorry. I forgot. I had gone back to the house real quick after we left because I forgot my gate clicker. I actually had to go through the front gate and use my parking pass to grab my clicker. So it was the wrong time. I'm sorry. Like I said, I was guesstimating these times. I'm not a morning person.
Okay.
So yes, we'd gone out.
How far did you get before you came back down? When you realized you forgot your clicker?
Nearly all the way to the school. And then we turned around. We had plenty of time to kill, so it was time to go back.
Again, when is
I
this
rushed back,
start?
got the clicker, And
at 8, you have plenty of
that's
time
when
to
I
do it.
came back here this
So
way.
you guys came back here to get your clicker.
Well, that's
Correct.
the
So
macho,
when we
you
look at the
gotta be
cameras in the
school by
front,
8
it's going to
o'clock.
show you coming back in
Correct.
here
It
with her in the
yes,
car.
with her in the passenger seat,
Okay.
yes.
The surveillance from the apartment complex paints a very different picture than the one Stefan had described. At 7:35 a.m., his silver sedan is seen pulling up to the trash compactor. He's wearing a red shirt as he casually tosses a garbage bag inside and drives off.
Oh no.
In the front seat, a young girl believed to be Madeline is visible, her posture slumped and motionless. Roughly 45 minutes later at 8:19 a.m., Stefan returns to the complex and appears to speak briefly with a security guard. Madeline is still visible in the passenger seat in the same slouched position. When that guard was later questioned, his statement only widened the cracks in Stefan's story.
Do you remember a resident coming through
I'm
in a
thinking he
silver
threw her away at the garbage
Lincoln
heap, but
sedan?
clearly she's still in the V.
I do remember, but not his face. I talked to him. He showed me his little clicker, and he's like, "Hey man, I'm clicking, it's not working." And then I went and I clicked the button. And he went inside, and I just remember there was a woman like sleeping beside him with a green.
That nigga just said.
Stefan had no reason to return to the complex if he already had the clicker with him. That detail alone cast serious doubt on his claims, and detectives moved quickly to secure a warrant to search the trash compactor. While they waited, Stephen continued explaining the rest of his morning, claiming he dropped Madeline off near the church.
Okay, and then what did you do after you left the area?
I left to go to the local vape shop because I needed some more vape juice. They weren't quite open yet. Waited about an hour or so and then went back and checked the vape shop again. It was open, so I got what I needed there. And came back home and hung out with Jen again for a while.
Do you remember what time you came home?
The first time was probably right around 10, close to it. And then I waited here and went back to the vape shop. Probably finished at the vape shop and came back home again a little after 11.
Okay. You said the first time that you hung out with Jen for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Was Jen here when you got here at 10? Okay.
I think so. She might have been at her blood appointment. Let me double check. I know she had a blood appointment at some point during the day.
It's okay, we don't have to ask her right now.
Sorry, everything's a blur.
So she might have been here, she might have not have been here
I
the first time.
believe she was here because she was sleeping in as much as she possibly could because she's been stuck within the work schedule. So she had to be here because she didn't want to sleep in.
When asked if Jennifer was home when he returned, Stefan gave a vague, uncertain answer. Investigators decided it was time to turn back to Jennifer.
When Stefan called me around 10:18 in the morning, I had stepped out to go get blood work done, and he had just let me know that he just got back home from running a few errands. And that I asked, "Did you guys ever just stop at McDonald's?" And he said, "No, she changed her mind." He tried convincing her a few times, but she did not want McDonald's anymore.
What time did you leave the house yesterday?
Definitely don't believe
Or what
it.
time did you step out, rather?
What kid you know gonna deny McDonald's? What the hell?
9:30.
You left around 9:30, and then Stefan called you around 10 to say he got home.
Her response didn't match his. She stated she wasn't even home until after Stefan had already come and gone again. Now facing a web of conflicting accounts, detectives pulled security footage from nearby street cameras. What they found added yet another inconsistency to Stefan's version of events, one that would be hard to explain.
Did you go anywhere else after the smoke shop?
I don't know. I don't think I went anywhere specific. I was just driving probably in the direction of home. But I don't remember stopping anywhere specifically.
And you were there for 5 to 10 minutes?
Roundabout, I think.
Okay, so like let's say you drop her off at 8:40. We don't see your car coming back south until 10 o'clock in the morning. So what are you doing between 8:40 and 10 o'clock?
It's a
Cruising
whole
around
hour,
a little bit.
20
Okay, but I asked you earlier, you know, like what you were doing, and you said you were there for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then you came back home.
Yeah, well, I went to the smoke shop, like I said. I mean, I don't know what to say. It was just a normal day. I didn't have anything important to do. The smoke shop was supposed to open soon, so I made my way over there. It wasn't any particular rush, though.
Okay, but can you help me explain to them, because I don't know the explanation or the answer to this question, okay? So can you help me explain to them why there's such a delay in the time?
Because I was rolling up, then I had to go
Stefan
smoke.
was unable to give a clear explanation, and investigators knew they'd need to review
I just
even
went
more
to the
surveillance
smoke shop,
footage
had
to
to go
piece
buy
together his
things of that
movements. But soon, a troubling discovery raised the stakes.
I left my phone at home in the morning, too. I was so busy riding her
Oh,
to
here this nigga go.
the door on time that I left my phone.
Yeah, that's not how
She
that
left her
works.
phone. We both left our phones.
Did you have your phone when you went to the smoke shop?
Not the first time after I dropped her off. I was still without it. I got my phone and went back to the smoke shop.
Okay.
Later when I got home.
And then I also noticed, I was checking your call history. I noticed that you don't have anything before this morning. Is that unusual on your phone?
No, it's a new phone. I went to do an
just
update
deleted my
yesterday morning, and I don't know what the. So, pardon me. I don't know what the heck I did, but somehow during the massive OS update, I managed to factory reset my phone and lose all of my contacts, all my information.
Jennifer backed Stefan's version of events, confirming when and how this supposed event occurred. But her consistent defense of him only made it clear to the investigators that more was being left out.
And I said, how the hell does that happen? That gives you options out when you reset your phone? He goes, yeah, apparently I wasn't paying attention and I just pressed the button and it happened. And I said, oh, that's unfortunate, that sucks.
When Stefan was asked to hand over his phone, he complied voluntarily. But what forensic experts uncovered during the data extraction was deeply concerning. At exactly 12:12 p.m. on February 26th, Stefan's phone had been factory reset through the settings menu. This wasn't a glitch or a software update. It required multiple steps, including entering a password. There was no way it happened by mistake. Jennifer.
Also, nigga, every update I done got on my iPhone, it ain't never said, yeah, want to factory reset your data? No, you dumbass. It just says, yeah, bro, you gonna have to update the update gonna start at this time. Make sure you're on a charger. Like, what is he talking about? Anybody who has a phone in this era would not believe that. That makes no sense.
Jennifer later told investigators that Stefan became visibly agitated after giving his phone to the police. That reaction, paired with the reset, made him look even more suspicious.
So earlier that day, I think Detective Hunt came, or somebody came, and asked Stefan for his cell phone. If he would willingly give it up so that they can look at it, or if they would need a warrant. And I remember him saying, should I have asked a warrant? Should I have? And I'm like, no, if you got nothing to hide, give him your fucking phone. And I think we hung out in the house for a little bit, and then when you guys came in the evening, and you guys told us to wait outside, and we waited in my car, he started getting very anxious and very panicky, going, I want my phone back, I want my phone back. And I said, listen, at this point, it's their phone. It's theirs for fucking ever. I don't give a shit. We will buy you a new phone. It doesn't matter anymore. Whatever they need, they need. Like, let them look at it. And he's like, I just want my phone back. And I'm just like, are you trying to make yourself more suspicious? Because, like, if you were to go demand your phone back right now, that would look suspicious as fuck. Like, what are you doing?
What investigators?
Something off, bro. Something's off. Like, I understand that she's explaining her conversation with him to them, but when you saying, do you want to look more suspicious? Nigga, your daughter's missing. What do you mean, do you want him? Does he want to look more suspicious? Nigga, my questions are then, nigga, did you do it? Like, I'm confused, brother. What are you talking about? Like, why would she say, do you want to look more suspicious? Nigga, you might have had something to do with it. He's already suspicious, shorty. You either on his side or you trying to find your daughter. You gonna have to pick one. I don't know what you got going on, but you wilding the fuck out right now.
Investigators would later uncover in the phone's data would completely shift the case. But while the analysis was still underway, Stefan continued describing his day, stating that he left the apartment again around 12:30 p.m.
All right, that's a good little stopping point. This was part one of, I ain't gonna lie, this is some weird that's going on, and I'm not really understanding everything, but that was part one of child predator accidentally says something that only the killer would know. And I'm assuming at this point, but I'm assuming the killer is clearly the boyfriend. Also, he's a freakazoid. Why are you trying to sleep or requesting sleepovers with a 12-year-old? That's your girlfriend's 12-year-old. You're weird, bro. And why would she send her daughter up there in his room at nighttime? Weird. That's the end of the video, though. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share the video, share your thoughts on the video in the comment section below. Hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date when I drop videos on this channel. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Stay safe, y'all.
Baby, slide by to my mausoleum. She got